All right, we are live.
All right.
We
All
are
right,
live.
guys, welcome back to the Three Marketeers show. Today is
55.
number
All right.
55. Wow, first
All
time
right.
join like with me. So this is really a crazy ride for us right now. But seriously, we couldn't have done this without all of your support. Seriously, this is the Three Marketeers show. It means the first time we watch this. I'm Jason. I have my partner here. We have Andrew. We have Manfred from Singapore, and Andrew is from Malaysia. We have Jeffri here. Jeffri from Engine Mailer. This
Yes.
is one
Hello,
of our
guys.
top.
Good
Yeah.
evening.
So Jeffrey, basically our guys are pretty much from all around, kind of like the region. We have a majority from Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, and all that. But a lot of our audiences are actually watching this show as a replay. So yeah, if you guys are watching the replay, you won't be missing anything because later on we're going to share with you a lot more information about a very interesting topic today, which is email. And instead of we talk about email marketing, because Andrew is an email conversion specialist, and I use email a lot in terms of a lot like Chiwa, everybody would say I spam email all the time, but the thing is we've been talking about we users, right? But we never like
Yes.
really get somebody on the
The
what do we call
platform
the
where allows us to
platform
do our work.
owner, which
Yes.
is to to really look at the whole thing from the other side of angle. So to really learn a lot more things from the other side. But today I want to actually let Andrew do the introduction because Jeffri was actually introduced to the Three Marketers by Andrew. So Andrew, please share with us how you met Jeffri and how was the whole journey like?
Sure. I first found out about Engine Mailer. I think that was through, initially was from, I think, BFM. Then because they were
Sorry,
sending
what was
their,
that? What's
their
that? Sorry.
emails. BFM
Oh,
is basically a business radio station. Yep.
I remember that.
And
I remember that. Right.
yeah, and that's how I found out about Engine Mailer. And that time, I'm not very familiar with LinkedIn, and I was trying to reach out to our friend, and obviously, he's a busy man. When he talks about his business, and you know, like. So eventually, one day we had an opportunity to present together in a CDEC event, and that's how I took the opportunity and says, to introduce myself, and he said, well, why don't you got an interesting story? Why don't you come on? Not many people know that Engine Mailer is actually a Malaysian company. Okay, so take note
Exactly.
today that this could be the next unicorn that you'll be looking at.
Definitely looking forward to that.
Yes.
So yeah,
So
welcome to the show, Jeffrey.
Excellent.
Thank you
Thank you
so
very
much
much,
for
gentlemen.
joining us.
Yeah,
Why
I
don't you
feel
share
like
with us a bit about your story,
I
before we
feel
get
like
our guys.
I feel like a beginner in front of all of you gurus, right?
Well, give us very tall hat, no? You see.
Wow, you are the guru. When you talk about your business just now in the backstage, we
Wow.
were like, "Wow, keep quiet, cannot, man, cannot." This guy
I
doing
know.
big things over there.
Yeah.
Only on backstage you can talk so big, when it's up live, right? You sort of like tune it down, right? Yeah. So anyway, right? Yeah. So a little bit about me and my relationship with emails, lah, right? Graduated in engineering, came back, started working for a multinational in out of Singapore, and I think first job assignment, more of an IS consultant kind of role, right? And one of the projects that I was assigned to was to build a regional email solution, right, for Southeast Asia. So we had hubs in Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, and Philippines. And the idea was to build email platforms for large multinationals like HP could come on board, IBM could come on board. So I think that's how my relationship with email started a long way back, right? So learning how to code emails using command lines and to send emails. So it's something that the fundamentals are there, and
Wow.
yeah. So I guess when Teneo was started, I started Teneo about 20 years back. The group, and the business started as a digital business with two core service offerings. One of it is software development, and the other was enterprise. I think we own an on-premise email marketing and transactional email platform. So early days was all about no cloud, nothing, right? It's on-premise, secure your data kind of thing. So that's how we started, and we send billions of emails over the years for our customers. And I guess what prompted Engine Mailer is I think uh, it's as early as 10 years back. That's quite some time back. Every time we go out, email is all about educating people. Yeah, you got to tell them why is email important, how do you use it, because The mindset back then was just, hey, let me buy 1 million database. It's cheap, 500 ringgit. Then I'll just spam it,
Said to
right?
everyone, yes.
I'll share one experience with you. I even had a customer out of Indonesia, right? They were doing casino business, and you know, to them it's all about buying databases and getting the thing out. Even if you get a 1% conversion, it's like
Yes.
huge, right? The money.
Absolutely.
So I was coaxed into, Jeff, how good is your platform? Can you send it out fast or not? Because if you can send it out fast, I'll give you this contract, like how many 100 million a year kind of contract, right? Young and stupid days, I suppose, right? Never really thought about the consequences of doing spam and bad IP reputation. So I think there was a test about 2 million, and we managed to send out the 2 million in like 20 minutes or something like that. The entire IP range in the data center got blacklisted, right? Not only our IP center, right? So I guess, yeah. So we've come a long way on that sense, right? But most importantly, everyone that you speak to, how many of the customers even to today have that millions of emails to send every month, right? None, right? So majority, you talk about SMEs, you're still learning how to build your database and how do you start. So a lot of times what happened was we would educate them. We would have a product that says, if you don't have 500,000 emails per month, I cannot deploy for you because it's not suited for you. So 95% of our effort, then MailChimp gets a customer, right? And get response, get a customer. So 5 years back, we just said enough is enough, right? So we made a call. We embarked on this whole engine mailer journey. And so I think it's been interesting because for us it's very used to small number of customers, high volume. And now we're just flipping it the other way around, right? High number of customers, small volume, but collectively, instead of being able to send 1 billion emails, we have the ability to send 100 billion emails, right? That's
Right.
the size of a SaaS business. So
It adds up.
yeah, it adds up. So yeah, so it's been what, 5 years now?
Wow, 5
We're still
years.
going. It took us about 3.5 years, to be honest with you, to build a product that can compete in this global landscape, because we didn't want to build a Malaysian-based best product in Malaysia anymore. We don't want that, right? So today, I think based on feedback that we're getting, I mean, if you didn't know that Engine Mailer was Malaysian, I think if you log on to it, you'll have a completely different experience. Like you'll think this is one of the global.
The Angmo product lah.
Yeah, it's
global
all,
player.
yeah. So we put a lot of focus into user experience. Whilst today is all about how we can make it as easy as possible for someone to do that stuff, right? Because we are trying to get the micro SMEs and SMEs on board. A lot of times, even when we started Engine Mailer, I would go to my guys or we'd hear, hey, why do we need to do this? It's obvious, isn't it? Right? They should know, right? Don't do email marketing. But the mindset has changed today. It's like, hey, if somebody asks a question, that means your UI UX is not proper, right? So you've got to flip it the other way around, right? So and we always launch beta versions of whatever new features. We found out that that's one way that your customers will be very forgiving. Even you have some bugs there, it's okay. Just put the word beta beside the new function, right? And, so
Jeffri,
that's a little bit of background.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing the awesome story. I think I love the context of it, where you actually kind of like build something because you saw the need of it. But here's the thing, you see, you were talking about before this, you build more like very little customer, but you do, and they do a lot of things with you. But now you flip the coin, which is you're looking at the other side of it. But okay, let's take a look about the SME side of business. Okay, what are the main challenges when it comes to adopting email marketing for SMEs? What are the challenges that you need to actually overcome? Like what kind of education required among these people in order for them to really get it? Like you mentioned just now, email marketing is really something that people can actually kind of like do not realize the importance of it. That's the reason why Andrew and I, mainly Andrew, have been advocating about the usage of email, because to be frank, like 2 days ago, we had these like Facebook down, like Instagram down, WhatsApp down. Just imagine your business is depending on that. What the hell? What's the backup? In fact, it's email, right? But among local players or maybe like other countries, mainly when it comes to SMEs, the biggest challenge that you see among these people when it comes to adopting email marketing?
I think we've been working very closely with a lot of ecosystems and also some of the larger corporates, right, to actually help the SMEs with this whole digital gap that they have, right. So I think if you take the last 3 to 5 years, it's all about you must go digital, otherwise you would you would
But a lot of
not
people just don't
survive,
get it,
right?
You say
Yeah.
go digital, like what the hell?
So today, you ask every SME out there, right? They say, yeah, I need to go digital. Yes, definitely need to go digital. But you know what's the problem? They don't know how to start, where to start, right? So I think, and you're put into this whole thing where everybody says digital is easy, but when you look at the whole digital spectrum, right, it's not just emails. Starts with your basic website, your domain, your social media, your mobile, your email,
Yep.
there's so many things. And you talk about SEO, SEM, it can be overwhelming for them, right? So which are the ones that would be relevant to their businesses? So again, you must be able to identify the right tools based on what your business is trying to do. That's my view. So to particularly to the micro SMEs and SME segment, I think it is very important to break them down into what stage. That means you got the beginner stage, for example, you got the intermediate, or what is it that you want to do? Do you want to do transactions, or you are trying to create awareness? So that funnel itself, that part I think needs to be emphasized. They need a lot of hand holding. So we know there's quite a lot of grants out there that the government is trying to help the SMEs. But on the other hand, I'm also hearing that the grants are underutilized. Right? People don't know what to apply, and the application process, I mean, unfortunately, is not so straightforward as well out there, right? So if you're given a 5,000 ringgit grant, hey, what do I use this for? Do I use it for my HR software, or do I use it for my internet line, or should I use it for marketing, or do I use it for my POS? There's so many things that they can do, right?
Yeah.
So again, I think it's to be able to, I would call bundle stuff lah, and so that there's a right fit to the audience. I think that's where it is. Hand holding wise, my personal perception is the customer base in America and Europe, or the Western countries, are a lot more adventurous and a lot more advanced compared to us here in Malaysia, or even in Southeast Asia. So we still require a lot of that hand holding, right? And one of the things we find very successful being local is we are able to do those one-on-one sessions with SMEs when they sign up on board. We have our customer
Wow.
success team. So that helps, because there's two types of audiences that you're referring to here when you talk about SaaS service. The first one is people that don't know anything about emails, say for us. So there are different ways to educate them, and for those you can automate your video content, your onboarding, those stuff can train them up, right? The second one are people that are already using email but looking for a better option, whether looking for a cheaper solution or whether looking for more functionalities, or sometimes ending up, there are customers that subscribe for all sorts of stuff. They're paying for it, but you're only using 10% of those platforms, right? So how do we help them do that kind of optimization? So there's always two angles that we approach the customers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the real reason for the challenge for SMEs is not the digitalization. I was thinking through all these cases. I think the real reason is most of these SMEs have never done any marketing at all.
Correct.
And so when you start talking to them about emails and all those things, to them they are all about producing the product, selling it, and that's about it. So
Yep.
branding, getting the name out, building reputation, whatever it is, to them is a waste of time and money. How much can I transact? How much you have, and then that's about it. So when you move into the digital side, all of a sudden with the digital marketing in place, and then you add the layer of automation and all those things, it really scares them because they've never even thought about the idea of even marketing. So that's why that's the challenge we face when we talk to them about emails. Because why should I need to send emails to my customer? I just call them, like, I got my salespeople already, but what else do I need to do?
Correct.
True.
But I think
True.
sometimes it's the business acumen behind it, right? The business mind, right? If you've not done marketing and you don't know what you want to say in your communications, it doesn't matter whether you're brick and mortar or digital, you just don't know what to say, right?
Yeah.
So so I think that in marketing, I think today when you talk about emails, there's two. There's marketing and there's automation, right? You talk about notifications. So you must have those basic business understanding before you apply them to the digital layer. I think that's should be one of the things that needs to be emphasized on, right?
So I say the challenge would be a lot of business owners that actually don't really understand marketing. They just do business.
The way I
business
think, yeah,
first,
that
as in like
seems to be the
business.
case. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
like,
because
sorry,
we yeah,
Yep, sorry.
sometimes also we get carried away, right? Sometimes we give seminars, right? How do you increase your click-through rates or engagement with your clients? Right? No, it's true, right? It is such a heavy topic. We can go
It
on
is
for
a
hours
very heavy one.
about it. Then we start rambling around. Oh, you must do personalization. Dear Andrew, dear Manfred will get a better conversion rate compared to dear valued customer. But the SMEs in America, what are you talking about actually, right? Can you?
Yeah.
There's no relationship. I'm here trying to struggle to build my database. Yeah, I don't even know what I need to have in my database. Do I need to have first name, last name, email? And you're taking it to that level, right? So again,
Right.
I think it's to understand the level of audience that we have, and I think over time, I can see. It's very encouraging to see SMEs out there picking up on all this digital stuff. It will take time, but again, like platform providers like us, our entire mission, to be honest with you, is not to get a paid subscriber. My mission, when we go out on Engine Mailer, is to get someone to successfully send their first email.
Wow, that's a very noble one.
No, it is, right? Because
Yeah.
there's always that wow moment when you use the software, that sense of achievement, right? So the moment you can send your first email, you're done already. Oh, now I know how to do this. Then you are like, semangat, you will know how to, okay, now let's build my base. But they must achieve something. So our first journey when you talk about onboarding is always how can we get that person to send the first email, whether it's through the email automation that we guide them, videos, customer success person calling, WhatsApp that we send out, I'm who and who from here. If you need help, reach out to me. It's that hand holding that gets them towards that goal. I think that we find that very important in our business.
I totally agree with that.
The first step,
That's really
very
something.
important.
Yes, Manfred, you've been raising your hand. Come.
I thought you were saying hello to your fans on Facebook.
I like that.
Yeah, man.
I'm saying hello to you. Well, nowadays our
I forgot
guests
to wave, but
can talk very well until I also having difficulties. Okay, a few things I want to intercept. So
Come.
you're mentioning about Malaysia governments helping the SME. So please refer to our episode 52, which covers that on government's support on SME. Then the part on the SME doing marketing, I actually read this part, which I kind of like it. They say marketing in some areas is more important than actual product. Marketing is the basic building block for your business. Self-mastering the marketing is mandatory even before you start your business. Because some business is really pointless when you really cannot market. That's what I read from one article from Reddit. And if you really don't know your customers, it's really throwing out your money down the drain. Seriously. And I personally work for SME. I tell you horror story. Email marketing. I thought must do other thing. Email is the last one. And even email marketing is I go and buy so many leads. Go and use Gmail. Get the intern, put boom, spam. Then only can put 20.
Right?
Okay,
All
never
those crap.
20, and sure got result one. Yeah,
Very
it die horribly.
But these are all the so-called the evolution that needs to be addressed. It's like you really need to find a way. But Jeffrey, have you really? I mean, have you have your team or anything structured something that is aggressively or rather systematically helping the audience to evolve, like content marketing?
Yeah,
Do you think people out there?
So I constantly engage with content people out there. I think that there's a community out there of people, right? Because without that execution layer, you can have the best platforms out there. It means nothing, right? And without the right creative ideas on how to position your product. So this is more the business side of things. How do you sell a product? How do you even brand your logo? How do you position your company? You must have your, you go back to your branding canvas, right? Your product canvas. You must have your mission. You must have your vision. What are your USPs? What are the customer challenges? I find that layer itself is missing most of the times. So let's not talk about marketing first, because if you don't have a pain point that you're trying to address, how are you going to
Nobody
try
want
to
to
sell
listen
it?
to you.
It all
Nobody
goes
want to
back
listen
to
to you.
the world is a very funny place, guys, right? You make a square football tomorrow, you'll still get a buyer, but how much of that can you sell? Your market is just that small, right? So the
True.
football market must be practical, right? Let's go back to one of my ex-bosses. I still work with him today, and he told me 20 years back, it's like, Jeff, so long as you're solving someone's problem, you'll always have a job.
Very true.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Very true.
So
100%.
whatever that is all of us are doing, if there's no problem out there, we won't be around, right? Everybody, well, why do I
Yeah.
need you? Right. So always going back to the challenges of the customer itself. And when it comes to marketing, I think, as you said, it's content marketing, it's positioning, it's product, it's USPs. The email marketing portion only comes in once you're clear what exactly it is that you're selling and what is it that you're trying to educate people, right? That's
And also you get the permission marketing, right? When people give you the permission to talk to them.
It's also very odd. You talk about data, right? When we started off our on-premise product many years back, like this is 12, 15 years back, we were already advocating can spam, automated opt-out policies, opt-ins, and all that, way before even our PDPAs and all that were there. Because when we built our enterprise products, we were always benchmarking all these leading email marketing companies, right? It was not new to us. It's just that we had to localize it to the environment. So today, when we hit the whole engine mailer, cloud thing, security, data privacy, opt-in, opt-outs, we take that very, very seriously, up to a point on how content is being filtered on the networks before they get delivered. Uh, Trust me, guys, I've come across all the scammers and all the spammers that you can possibly want to think, like all the way from, my late grandmother passed away, I've got 100 million here, to, yeah, please give me your Outlook passwords. So there's two categories of these guys, right? One are the scammers. So they try to scam your passwords and through whatever means, right? And they are so smart that even in some of our detection engines, there's human intervention that comes in, because if you follow keywords and all that, they know what words to use in order to bypass that. These are experts, right?
Yep.
And the second one are spammers. So just buying a list of database and just whacking it through your networks. And they've got a pattern one. They normally try a small amount with a clean list. Then the moment you approve, then they go for the big kill, right? So
Yes.
I can write algorithms on how to detect these people today, right? So we are trying to be honest with you, even in Engine Mailer, we are trying to automate that whole behavior. So we spend the last, I don't know, 3-4 years, in fact, entertaining these people in order to understand.
I like the way you put it, entertaining these people. It's very true. But
Yeah.
seriously, I think this is really
Yeah.
the biggest portion, one of the biggest portion that, of all the problems that you need to deal with. Because eventually, this is still, in a way, one of the most lucrative business out there, which is to spam or to scam, all these kind of things, right? But seriously, I have forgotten our, audience comments. So let me come back to the comments a little bit. Like, we have our number one. This is our fourth marketeer, lah. This guy.
The fourth
This guy is
marketeer.
our fourth marketeer anyway. He's almost the first one who comment in almost every episode, except a few that I don't know where he went. So he said the top troll reporting. So we have some friend coming on the YouTube channel, USH Web. Hi, I hope you're still here. And Chiwai was saying my spam emails. Hey, hello, my emails. Take off the word spam. Keep you in check so that you don't have to deviate into non-important stuff. Okay, I'm glad. Okay, now you still take off the spam word.
Yes.
Now, Richard has a very interesting question. Richard asks, how do you steal customers from MailChimp? Okay, but before that, Jeffrey, let me go through a few of the comments over here. Like Rizal was saying,
Hey,
hello to us.
Rizal, how are you, man?
Okay, and then Chiwai was responding to, Andrew's remark talking about the, most businesses don't do branding, marketing and all that, just agreeing with you. So back to this question.
Let's look at that.
Richard is also our maybe the fifth marketing. This guy also comment quite a lot, but I think
Still,
it's
it's a very, very powerful word. Too strong of a word.
How do
yeah,
you
we
still?
don't. But
How do you
anyway,
poach?
we know what
You
he
want to
mean
know?
lah. You're just saying that. Okay, now
Yeah.
how do you respond to this, Jeffrey?
Do you want to know? You want to know how I poach or how would other people poach?
Anything?
How I poach
Ah.
might be a bit of a secret, lah, right?
Okay, maybe not you, but how other people
No,
poach.
lah. I mean, it's quite. You know, everything is tracked on the internet, lah. I'll just give an example, right? A quickest way for us to get competitors' profile. You go to sites like Built With, for example. There's technology profiles. So they scan websites, they scan portals and all that stuff. So they'll give you the full stack, or what you use for your website, what CMS, whether you have Facebook Pixel, what JavaScript you're running and all that stuff. And a lot of these websites have these plugins by these ESPs. So it's either a MailChimp plugin or GetResponse plugin. So strategically is something that you can acquire fairly quickly without having to go and engage any third party. That's one way to do it, right? I think the other ones for us, I think today we all get a lot of EDMs. Let's put it that way. So one of the easiest, dirtiest way to steal customer from MailChimp is just by looking at the URLs on the EDMs. You know there's a MailChimp URL or MailerLite URL. So every one of these things, I mean, you guys are experts in email marketing, right? So we have certain USPs, other people have certain USPs. It's your ability to find the right person in that company and pitch your USPs. One of the trends that we see for the SMEs, a lot of smaller guys, you're only spending $10 a month, $20 a month on your subscription. Pre-pandemic, if I went up to a customer and said, hey, I can save you 20%, to them is shit, man. $10 to $8. What's the point? There's no problem. I continue using it. But today we can see more and more consumers are becoming more cost conscious. So every little bit count kind of things, right? So price point is still one of the highest factors that people consider when choosing ESP platforms, right? So back to the whole being noble and wanting to help people from an engine mailer standpoint. And that's why for us, we provide them with a free forever account as well. You can store unlimited databases. The view is, if you know your customers well, you're going to communicate with them better, right? So we don't want to put a limitation on that, and we help them clean dirty email addresses, because these are all real challenges that we've experienced for the last 20 years, from the biggest organizations to the smallest guy. Talk about duplicate email, talk about bad email format, talk about, all these things. They are real challenges. So as part of our data management workflows, we've actually built in all this that everyone can enjoy for free. And yeah, right. So we didn't want to say, if you pay me a few bucks and I give you these features. Just please get it for free. But the moment you grow your database and you have more people that you want to communicate with, at that point you start paying me, for $9.
Yeah. That's fair.
I think it's fair. I think it's fair. Seriously, I think totally it's a valid, and it's a very noble way to start with. Like, you give everything for free. I think, But then again, right, Richard was asking this thing. He was asking if it's a price point, would it be a race to bottom? That's a very interesting angle to look at it.
Yeah, it's an angle. It's going after different markets and different client segments, right? For me, I always believe in the stickiness portion. One of the matrices that I monitor very closely in our customers is that churn rate, right? Whether you are on a free plan or whether you are paying us the enterprise plan that send millions of emails, there are many ways to sell value-added service into the customers. So I see it as, if you take the smaller customers, the plain vanilla flavors that are out there, $9, $29, you can't run far from what other people are doing in the market. But when you hit the larger client base, people that send few million emails, then the amount of additional services that you can put in to help them on deliverability, monitoring, execution, even on the campaign side, right? You talk about their content strategies. So these value-added services will then pad up the revenues at the end of the day, right?
I agree.
Yeah, so fortunately, I think for Engine Mailer itself, we cover the same platform covers the consumer market that pays us using their credit card on a recurring basis, and the same platform is also the enterprise platform. So if you're a larger customer that still signs a 12-month contract or 24-month contract with us, you still have access to that same features, same platform. It's just like the payments will deviate, right? One is automated, one is still done manually.
I would agree to your point here because seriously, I think email service provider is a very sticky business. As in, like, it's very difficult for you to change from one to another. Like, for example, it took me bloody 10 years to change from MailChimp to MailerLite. So if you want me to change from MailerLite to someone else, then I'll be like, shit, I have built so many things on it already.
Yep.
And I now send close to about 780,000 emails every month in that rate of subscribers that I have. So I find it very difficult. And also, I think it's another angle is,
Jason, sorry, I interrupt you, Jason.
Sure.
I give it to you for free.
Okay, there you go, Poach.
All right. Anybody on MailerLite, please. Engine Mailer.
No, it's okay. Yeah, my friend, what's up?
So actually, I kind of agree with him because the most difficult business is the first business. So even if you don't use my thing, how on earth can we continue the conversation? Obviously, must let you try out the thing. Then you have some comments. Then you have certain specific requirements. Then we'll talk to them. Then we'll sort things out. If there's discussion, means possibility for doing more business. If you're not even using it, then how to do business right now?
That's why education comes with it comes in a very important position.
Every
for example, I
industry-
seriously think,
Every industry confirm has different requirement one. Surely one.
Yeah.
Like, I do seriously think that, Jeffrey, you should pair up with Andrew because Andrew is advocating email marketing heavily right now. So you guys should actually do a lot more content creation together, which in a way, right, the education can come from two angles. One is Engine Mailer, one is Andrew, and both of you can create content that can actually benefit both sides.
Yeah.
And all drives back to the core, which is, if you now finally realize how important is this bloody little email marketing, which is like, Andrew, how old? 50?
51 years old this year.
51 bloody year old, seriously, it's the oldest living creature on the internet that is still working so fine on our phone and everywhere we go right now. I think everybody needs a bit of education to really spark the idea. Like today, you know what? I actually spoke to one of my audience, and this guy spends about 800 ringgit on Facebook ads every day.
Every day.
800 ringgit.
Shit.
It's an unheard business, to be very frank. You look at a website, you would think, okay, it's nicely done website. You cannot imagine that they are so big.
Right.
And they're only selling fashion. 800 ringgit to a fashion retailer, it's like a mid kind of thing, but he doesn't touch email. He still think email as newsletter once a month. The moment I told him that, look, I make that amount of money from every subscriber every month, and he was like, holy, because he has close to about 20,000 email subscribers. Just imagine if he knows how to do this. Here's the thing. I think there is an angle over here where they are, medium S. Because the biggest challenge for new users when it comes to email marketing is they don't have a list, then they probably don't see the need. But when those people who has a list, like this guy, 20,000 past customers, when you educate them with, immediately it has a very good angle to tell them that, look, you're actually leaving so much money on the table. And this angle is really, this segment of audience is really growing, especially after a few years talking about all this digitalization, what the IR 4.0, what I don't know, 4.0, 5.0 and whatnot. So everybody tried to do something that sort of at least make some progress, right? It's time. I think it's a prime time that you guys should really, lead a movement over here.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's quite everyone is trying to crack that nut right now, right? That thing. So Andrew, I think definitely we are able to collaborate on not one
Absolutely.
but a few things, right? So, but we'll take that offline. We don't want to bore your listeners in this precious, nighttime, bedtime stories.
People are excited, but wait, before I come back, let's say hi back to our audience. Hey, these are my friend good friend, Evan and Richard. Yeah, how you poach, right? And
Okay,
then
we address that.
anonymous, and you have the guy here talking about how he poached, and then how can he be anonymous anymore? Come on, man. What kind of like thing is that?
It's a
You don't
full-on
poach,
attack.
convert. Like they were talking about the build with, which they agree. And Richard was saying build with was a 2-person team. Revenue a few years ago was monthly 7. Wow, that's cool. And Richard was saying like, Asian no frills, we need frills. Really? Yeah, that's Asian model. But anyway, and Chua is saying like 51. You don't know email is 51-year-old, Chua. You should follow Andrew more closely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And guys, a little bit just on the product since we are at it, right? A lot of people see churn when you talk about a SaaS business as a bad thing, right? Because customer leaves you. So we have this thing that we created, Engine Mailer, saying that because we are giving you a free forever account. And what we're saying is you only upgrade to a free plan when you need to send. And then the next month, if you don't have nothing to send, you can go back to the free forever plan because we give you unlimited databases. So this is starting to come up as a USP. So there's a lot of businesses out there, more so during this pandemic, right? Say your event management companies, for example. So you have all this database you send, then suddenly there's this lockdown and you don't need to send anything, right? So we give them a platform to hold their databases without having to pay us. Right. So when you need to activate it again, you don't need to start re-importing your list, or there's no 14-day free trial. You go and do that kind of stuff. So the heart of email marketing is actually the database, or the heart of any form of marketing is the database. So that for me is the most important thing as we start building the platform. So talking about the features, one of the things that you guys told me to touch was on platforms, right? So email marketing, I see it as the middle bit. Yeah, you want to use email to do automation, or you want to use email for marketing or your notifications, right? But what is the layer that comes before that is building that audience. So the tools around building that audience, number one is storing the audience, right? How do you build it? You can do data entry, you can OCR, you can import, you can use APIs. There's so many ways to build, right? So we have, now sharing with you guys the landing pages. It's going to be coming out soon. I think that is going to be very handy because not many people, although it's quite easy to go and sign up for a Wix plan and go and do a website, but you don't really need a Wix plan. You just need a landing page with a conversion, right? Something that's going to be very SEO friendly that you can drive. And that starts building your base. And you'll be surprised some of the case studies that I can share with you, the customers we've served over the years using various platforms. A normal just F&B, say restaurant, if you start collecting your customers' name cards and databases and all that, this is real story. It's a restaurant, 2 outlets. Within 3 years, they already had something like 30,000 databases and email addresses. And those days was just talking about emails and SMS, when you have promotion. Up to a point that when you're running a promo, they were afraid to send to their entire list because they can't take the reservations. No, you can't, right? If your restaurant, there's only 80 seats, right?
80 packs, 100 packs,
people, right? And you want to get scolded, is it? Every time you do a promotion, why you send to me? It's the opposite of a hypermarket. No, let's say someone like Tesco that sends you a chicken promotion, and by the time you go there, no more chicken to buy, right? Because finished. This one is the other way around. I cannot serve you, right? So you must know how much you need to market as well based on your capacity, right? So that's why the whole targeting, segmenting, and knowing your customers is so important when it comes to any form of marketing out there, right?
Yep. I think you're on the right path in the sense that you have just redefined the pay as you go. Most of the cases, like now, most of the customers I work with, I'm basically storing their customers' interaction, everything on the email. The question is, as and when we need to send emails, we basically just segment them accordingly and then craft the emails and send them out. Yeah.
Yep.
And then it's the CRM for emails, lah.
And the other end of the spectrum, once you say put yourself as an SME now, right? So you know how to build your base, you know how to do your marketing. What's next? How do you then collect your leads, and how do you follow up with them to make sure that you don't forget and all that stuff? I think that's where the CRM layer comes in, right? So in our pipeline, somewhere in our pipeline, we're planning to do a very simple CRM bot for the customers as well, right? So something very simple. We might find, I mean, we are all fairly advanced users. We might find something like HubSpot, for example, as something very simple to use. But to the average SME and micro SME person, hey, what is all this, man? You know, you don't even know that you can drag a bot from left to right. But how can we simplify management of leads and conversion into sales? Because there's no point to do market if you're not going to convert to revenue at the end of the day, right? And not all of them have an online store that can do the automated conversions for them. Right?
Yeah.
You haven't touched on the drip campaign where if they don't respond, what might happen, or the graph,
Yeah.
and they see they'll be
Correct.
overwhelmed.
So it's
And-
always
and- yeah.
Go on, Andrew. Yeah.
And in most cases, especially CRM, when I was working for one company, we look at all this. Yeah, initially we're thinking like, go and get the Changi one, the Salesforce and all those things. Then we realize, based on our business, we probably be using like 5% of Salesforce feature.
Yeah.
And most cases, it's only phone number, email address, the sales tracking, for example, the stages of sales, and that's about it. You don't need, and talk to the sales guy, you tell them there's a 13-stage sales tracking that you need to update. They will say, you go to hell, you got no time for that. Either close or not close, that's about it. That's all I'm going to report.
No, it's right. Even for the engine mailer business, I mean, we are in the SaaS space, right? All of our supporting systems are all in the SaaS business as well. So even leads that sign up to our platform right now, we integrate it to Pipedrive, right? And then one step further, we are on O365. I even automate the Pipedrive signups into our O365 so that we can trigger the welcome WhatsApp automatically, right? So there are many tools that support. We use Zendesk for our customer support, right? So today, I think you just need to understand the stage of business that you are. But if we all of a sudden grow to a point that where I'm getting like 5,000 signups a day, then maybe Pipedrive is not the right one to use. We need to use some other more complex tools that can do automation, right?
Yeah.
So, but as I said, tools today, digital tools are so readily available. So it goes back about selecting the platform. Selecting even email platforms, it depends on what exactly do you want to achieve. So what stage of the business are you? What size? How big is your database that you have? Right? Once you have those key questions answered, I think then it's quite easy to do that selection. Maybe Andrew, you can work on that cheat sheet, right? Right. Even like if you want to subscribe for telco plans today, they ask you how many people you have in your house, how many devices you want to connect. Then they recommend, you need 200 meg rather than you buying 500 meg and you're not using, right? So it's just recommending the right things to you at the end.
Good point.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Because what I did was, you see, I mean, although I actually kind of like been using MailChimp for like bloody 10 years since I started until recent years. But along the way, I also tried several things like Drip. And then the other one was what was the start with the auto something one? I forgot the name exactly.
Active Campaign.
Active Campaign. Yes, I tried Active Campaign and a few other more comprehensive one. Even I think I took a glimpse into the HubSpot as well. I think what I realized at the end of the day, what I was looking for is really the simplicity.
Yep.
In fact, a lot of SaaS businesses out there, they overbuild themselves. They chase after all these features and all this kind of thing. They thought that all these features is going to increase the value and all that. But I think at the end of the day, if you build 100 features and 80% of them are not being used by the audience, I think it doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. So I think the positioning also very important. I mean, sorry, Manfred, hold that. I think it's very important if there is anyone who wants to build a SaaS business, if like, for example, I personally failed several SaaS business, to be frank. I think, Jeffri is on the right path, which is focus on the audience that you're they're really trying to focus on and build things that they need. Don't try to deviate yourself into, you can grow definitely, but then again, you need to always come back to the core audience that you're trying to serve, which is like for Jeffri, I think he's very clear. He wants to help people start the first email. So that would actually become a very important guide when you're building your business. And I mean, that's a bit of thing that I believe it's worth sharing if you guys don't mind. But anyway, Manfred, what are you trying to say?
I fully agree with Jason. Just a bit overlapping, just to cover some points that I want to mention. It's actually the challenges, the pain point, the why will people want to use you, the the motivation of using it. If you build something that people never asked for, I said I'm not going to use it. Wasted already. So it's back to marketing actually for the providers.
And one of the main reasons why I left MailChimp was because actually they get complicated. They gotten complicated. The moment I came back after a few months, I was like, hey, where am I? What am I doing right now? I kind of like
Too
got
many
lost.
things.
And I
Too many
realized,
things.
okay, I don't need that. Enough crap. Let's come back to something more simple. That's the reason why I switched.
Yeah, I MailerLite it's definitely one of our go-to. Sometimes we are all in the ESP space, right? So when you want to design something, instead of thinking, we sort of like go and see what other people are doing, right? So MailerLite is one of our go-to places. Great platform, but at the end of the day, it's building something that works for the customers and keeping that simplicity in mind, right? The moment I've heard a bunch of engineers that we, including myself, sometimes we're guilty of trying to overcomplicate things, right? I'll give you this rocket science thing, but you got to realize that not everyone is on that level. So you got to
Yep.
really scale things down and make it as straightforward as possible. And the UX is important, the whole design thinking process. So I think if you've tried Engine Mailer before, one of the feedbacks that we are getting from our customers is the simplicity and the ease of use. So that is coming up on top. We put a lot of emphasis into that, a lot, right? And we hope that will help our users at the end of the day.
Perfect. You see, like
That
Chiwai
one
was saying,
definitely I can vouch because I mean, not because we have Jeffrey on the guest. I had a friend who wanted to go on an email, so he said, "Hey, by the way, I just signed up for Engine Mailer, and I've not, I've not actually tested it, and it took me all in all about an hour prior to the call with him because he needed somebody to help him guide him through how to do a setup. I actually learned everything about Engine Mailer in an hour, from set up the domains all the way to doing the forms and all those things. And then I could spend an hour with him and show him basically this is the things you can do. And that is very important. If I can do it in an hour to understand, and for a non-user, probably another 2-3 hours. But if you can get it through that path, then they're definitely on. Because most businesses, all they want is this: can I send an email out? Can I manage? I know these people have received the email. Can they reply to me? And that's all they want. They just want to get a message out.
Yeah. Like Chiwai was saying, MailChimp now evolved into a monster. And Richard was saying MailChimp now is like a virtual digital agency, one leg kick.
Yeah.
And
They
Andrew
got
was
too
the one who
complicated.
persuaded Chiwai to go to MailerLite. He was reluctant. You see? Andrew can be an
Now
advocate.
you should try Engine Mailer. Yes.
And Richard said you love their t-shirt. Okay, you wear it for another 3 years, then you'll switch to MailerLite. It's okay. So, so everything
Back to
also
the
ready.
MailChimp thing, I think Andrew, you wanted to touch base on their recent acquisition, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, what about the recent acquisition? So MailChimp, I mean, fill us in the story a little bit, Andrew, about the MailChimp's acquisition. And this is your question.
Yeah. So Intuit basically acquired MailChimp for 12B. Most of the time, ESPs are always behind the scene because, they do the plumbing and all things, just like those data centers and nobody care. All of a sudden, some company decides to come in and acquire a ESP company for 12B. They are not the first one. There was a Swedish company who acquired Pathwire, which is basically Mailjet and Mailgun, another ESP for about 1.9 billion. The interesting thing I want to bring it up is now that everybody's attention is focused on ESPs, how is Engine Mailer's profile now? And I'm sure you will get a lot of investors knocking on your doors because everybody is looking for the next one.
Yeah, so I think this acquisition is very exciting, right? For us, I mean, to the normal layman out there, it just simply says that email is still relevant,
Absolutely.
right? That's number one, right? I mean, in terms of, yes, I saw some of the audience comment just now. MailChimp has gone into a giant. As far as Engine Mailer is concerned, it's a David versus Goliath game. You call us late into the email SaaS space, but it's still a over $20 billion industry, big pie to go after. So even if you look at ESPs out there, right, they're very strong US based ESPs. European-based. Asian-based ESPs don't have, and we have our own sort of like ecosystem and localized audience that we can focus on. That's number one,
Yep.
right? So there's a lot of room for collaborations out there, right? Going beyond emails, look at what MailChimp, although they are primarily known for email marketing, right? MailChimp, but they've gone beyond that. They're the whole suite of digital tools for small, micro and small businesses. So I think that's where the focus is into SaaS today. Again, is going after that whole spectrum from micro SMEs to SMEs. I think that's where the chunk or the big bulk of the money is, right? On the enterprise side, everyone is throwing prices, like I can tell you, right? All the providers there just throwing price, because you get a customer that can send 50 million, 100 million emails, right? He will come and demand, can you give it to me at 0.0006 whatever cents? And the other guy said, I'll do it for half the price. So it's a loss leader, right? That game, right? But when you dissect this acquisition one step further, I see it more as a data gameplay. You take Intuit, they got QuickBooks, they got financial data, right, about a particular customer. They got their accounts, they got their credit ratings, right? So now they're combining the data of marketing. So technically, this guy has this extra bit of money that he can spend on marketing, vice versa. How do you use that? So I think it's the data, the whole ability to ingest, predict, and recommend the right solutions. I think that's where their end game is. So it's a data game, if you ask me, right?
Yep.
So it's quite exciting. From a profile standpoint, I mean, for us, it's good. I mean, we're fairly new right now. As you know, we're trying to ramp up our awareness building. We built a great product. So now looking for partners like Andrew. I'll come knocking on your door soon already to start talking. But we're looking for people that is able to help spread the word about the product that we have. I think organically we are looking to grow. We're trying to capture the Malaysian audience first. I always believe if you can't win in your own territory, right, it's going to be very difficult to succeed elsewhere. But at the same time, we are getting a healthy flow of overseas signups that are coming into our platforms. So initiatives, all the other digital things like all our SEOs, our campaigns, and all that. So we've got paid customers coming from weird countries, right? That they are paying us
Weird country.
on a monthly basis. Yeah, I wouldn't mention those countries sometimes, right? But it's encouraging, because I come from a business before Engine Mailer where it's a lot of talk, a lot of proposal writing, then shake hands, sign contract. And now, we could be talking here and I get one beep and, someone has just paid us $29. Who's going to give you that $29, right? So it's just making that 1 into 10, the 10 into 100, the 100 into 1,000, and so forth, right?
Yep.
And the exciting part about a SaaS business is always that ability to scale and hit that hockey stick kind of thing, right? Even MailerLite, if you go back, if I'm not mistaken, when I was doing research on them a while back, in their first year, they did something like only €1,000+ in terms of revenue properly when they came out. By the time it became their third year, they already supersede €1 million, right? So fast, right? So we are at a stage right now where I'm trying to build this momentum, trying to get the machinery going for this SaaS business. So immediately, I think it's basically building this into $1 million business. We're not very far away. So yeah, so that is
Awesome.
our immediate
Awesome.
target. And I am, since we're on this channel and it's going to be watched by a lot of marketing heroes, I'm actually looking for a hustler to join me. I'm talking about hustler. I don't want a sales manager, or I don't want a business development guy. You need someone very agile. You need a growth guy to actually grow this business, right? So you must think like a proper entrepreneur, right? And I'm a true entrepreneur. Nothing is impossible, kind of thing. So it's a matter of how you go out there and use the resources that you have, the networks that you have to achieve what you want to do. But in the meantime, you're right, like Andrew, right? I'm also looking for strategic investors. Although we're not in a hurry to pump cash into the business. This is something that we are sustaining. It's self-sustaining at the moment. But strategic guys that are able to grow this at a much faster pace to actually acquire the customers. There's a lot of opportunities, a lot, right? So exciting lah. So I
Yes.
to be honest with you, my to-do list is like, there's like 500 things there. So we just take each day as it comes, including sections like this. I'm happy to share because
Yep.
it's a true journey. There's nothing to hide, and we hope
Yeah.
to build a product that everyone can enjoy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right?
All you need is just become an Asia champion. Asia has 660 million users or 660
It's a very
people.
big market.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big bucket.
And the other day, I was just talking to Andrew. All we need is just to capture this market that we're at right now is good enough. Sometimes you don't even need to really look out. But then again, what's happening here is when you are focusing and building this segment of the market, you spread. So eventually all these other countries, all these, they will kind of come as byproduct. But I think there is a very interesting question coming from She's asking, is OmniSend not comparable to MailChimp? I don't know, what is your take, Jeffrey? Because I never heard of OmniSend. I don't know about you.
I think it's an omni-channel SaaS business. So they don't only do emails. There are probably other mediums to reach out to. So very similar to MailChimp, but I'm not too sure if MailChimp have all that WhatsApp and all those other channels to reach out. Right?
I see that email, SMS kind of thing.
Yeah. Generally,
it's more-
OmniSend, there are two categories of ESPs. You have your MailChimps, engine mailers would cater more towards the marketing side of the email side. OmniSend, Klaviyo, for example, these are what you call the e-commerce email ESPs. That means they are tightly integrated to your WooCommerce. They are tightly integrated to your Shopify, for example. Those are tied closely to e-commerce stores. And they have certain specific features, for example, that you can, if there's a transaction on your e-commerce store, it bounces back to your OmniSend or your Klaviyo, for example. And they have features like browse abandonment, cart abandonment, and all those things. So there are two categories generally. So if you're not in e-commerce, then OmniSend, and the thing is they also integrate SMS, because for this e-commerce side, SMS and emails are tied very closely. So if you're not in e-commerce, then you will not need to consider an OmniSend or even a Klaviyo. An engine mailer will do the job.
So we have, so in terms of roadmap and positioning, as I mentioned to you guys earlier, we are working on the database building modules right now. Then we will go towards the marketing automation side of things. So when we reach like full automation, I think today there are even a lot of components out there to allow us to integrate to all these shopping carts out there. And one more thing that is in our near pipeline is also start working on all the plugins. You talk about your WordPress plugins, your all your website plugins, and the ability to have ready-made APIs to the other open systems out there, right?
Yeah.
So
that's the next step. Yeah.
That's the next step, right? But I think from a fundamental data management and email touch points, we have, I think, successfully built a product that is competitive enough to go and compete in the market. That's where we are today, right?
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So guys, if you guys want to find out more about Engine Mailer, this is the link. As you can see, it's a bad link. We are not an affiliate, and we are totally happy to promote because seriously, like what Andrew mentioned just now, he has tried it. He definitely vouched for it. So this is one of the best systems that you can try, and best of all, it actually built by Malaysian. So you now realize that Jeffri is here. If you want to talk to him one-on-one, he mentioned he has one-on-one, but I don't think he's the one who's going to do it. But anyway, so just
no. What I will throw something more exciting for these three marketers.
Oh, okay, let's go.
When you write into customer success and say, I want to do this one-on-one, just use keyword 3 marketeers and we'll give you some quotes, right? So we'll remove the 500 emails per day limit that you have on Engine Mailer and let you send 10,000 free every month without any caps, right?
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So for those that have stayed till the end of this show at night, right, at least you have something to come forward with.
Awesome.
With this offer, there's no reason whatsoever why you shouldn't be doing an email.
Yeah, seriously.
There is
You just go
absolutely no
over,
reason.
set up an account, and immediately start sending your first email. And remember to email the customer success to mention the 3 marketers. Then you'll get all of the perk over there. I mean, thank you so much for joining us. But before we go, I want to let Manfred do his job. Manfred has this website of the week every month. where he would actually share some tools or system or some websites that are useful and interesting. So Manfred, what are we looking at today?
Here you
Are
go,
you
man.
able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, we are seeing a screen and
Okay,
I'm
let's
posting
take
this.
a look at copysmith.ai.
Hey everyone, welcome to our video tutorials. In this video, I'll be going over how to streamline your blog post writing process using the tools available here at Copysmith. To start off, you can go into the blog ideas template and type in your target keywords. This is essentially what your blog post is going to be about. Once you click generate, there will be around 20 different outputs to choose from. Each includes a blog title and a short introduction paragraph. After choosing your favorite output, copy and paste it into the blog outline template. This template gives you different ways to structure your blog post with sections and subsections, so you can generate a more detailed and organized blog post article later. After choosing your favorite outline, go into the blog post template and paste the blog post title, example paragraph, and subsections into the input field, as well as a few keywords for your blog post. You can also add a target audience and a company name, but I will say the most important field is the example paragraph, because this is what the tone and quality of your output will be based on. So make sure it is well written and includes keywords that you want to see in your blog post article. If you need some help writing your example paragraph, you could go into the blog intro template and enter your blog post title to receive about 10 different introduction paragraphs to choose from. You can select a few that you like, combine them together, and edit them to get an elaborate paragraph that includes your keywords and meets the minimum characters requirement. Then go back into the blog post template and add that in. Make sure every input field looks good, then click generate. And voila, here are your blog post articles. We have also integrated our popular content rewriter and bullet point expander template into the blog post template for your convenience. You can highlight a sentence or a paragraph and click the orange icon to get different ways of writing it, or highlight a sentence you want to expand on and click the green icon to get a longer version of this sentence if you want to lengthen your blog post. There you have it. Your blog post is ready to be exported. Happy copysmithing.
Okay, so this
Wow.
is let me go
Powerful,
to the
man.
website. Let me give me 1 more minute to go
AI
to
writing thing, is that just
yeah, so last time we actually mentioned about the conversion.ai. So this time around it's a different one. Copysmith. Yeah, give me 1 minute.
There are a few AIs, T3 level AIs that's available out there. So basically now, you want an email system that you've got an awesome one called Engine Mailer that you can use. If you don't know how to write, there's another tool that you use like Copysmith to write it for you and then just post it up. No reason whatsoever not to do email marketing at all.
Yeah.
A lot of people will
Jason?
say. A lot of people will say that I don't know how to write.
Put in your keywords and other things. Yeah.
But honestly, for email, right, guys, you just need to go to Google and type email marketing templates, right? You
True.
get a
Awesome.
whole ton
Yes.
of ideas where you
True.
Absolutely.
True.
Right.
Very
So
true.
there's no reason to not be able to do email marketing. But back to where we started, you got to understand what is it that you're trying to market to begin with, right?
Yeah. Without that,
Totally.
you know, all the best tool in the world is basically useless.
True. Okay.
So
All right,
you can
so
just take a look
this-
at the website. So it will show you all the information for copysmith.ai, which Jason actually put it on the chat already.
Yeah, I already put it on the chat.
Awesome.
Okay, so guys, you guys can find out. Thank you, Manfred, for sharing this. And that will bring us to the end of the show. Seriously, Jeffrey, we touched one question. That's a cool one. And then eventually we run the whole show with just one question. All right, that's the best part of it, right? So that's how we roll.
Awesome, man.
All right, that's the best part of the show, because the moment we hit on the momentum and we like the topic and the audience is really engaging, that's where we have the fun. And thank you so much for giving our audience the special offer. So guys, remember, sign up and start using Engine Mailer. Go over to this link and talk to their customer success and mention the 3 marketers. You will actually get some perks. If you missed it, then you rewind back a little bit for 5 minutes, then you'll be able to listen to what Jeffrey was offering. But I think it's a very great offer. And first thing first, and the most important thing here is this is very simple to use, yet very powerful email service provider, you must actually check them out. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jeffrey. It's an honor.
Pleasure, gentlemen,
It's a pleasure.
to spend the time. We should do another one soon for some other topic.
Definitely.
Yeah?
Ken,
Awesome.
anytime you throw us the topic, we will definitely have you here. Then you will become the fourth person to appear twice in the show.
So really, I can do a multiple
Yes.
appearance. Huh?
Ken,
Yes.
no problem.
Guys,
We
it's
love
like,
all
I
the
don't want
different
to have
topics.
you anymore. You just talk too much, right?
No, we love good guesses like you so that we can actually learn a lot more from you, because you say you're 20 years in business, in the software development business. We
Oh,
definitely
there's a
have
lot to talk about. Yes.
We have
Yeah.
a lot.
Okay,
to talk
the
about.
good thing is this is our show, so if they can choose to come in and come out if they don't like the topic, so that's
Yeah, I
fine.
mean, if there's demand for the topics that you want me to share, I'll be happy to spare some time.
Ken,
No
Ken,
problem.
let's
Yes.
spend some time
So
and
guys,
discuss. And
audience,
you-
yeah, put
Okay,
in
just
whatever
on-
questions you ask Jeffrey, then we can get him on for another round.
yeah, Manfred, you're saying?
Yeah, just want to add one more thing. In terms of email marketing, just treat it as you're talking to someone and you know the target audience inside out. If you know the person like to go to the beach, you don't go and talk about reading. If the person don't like the sunlight, you go and talk about beach volleyball. I mean, you cannot match with you, correct or not?
Yeah.
So it's just like normal conversation with a real person that you know him very well and you send email. And in fact, I personally believe in text-based email more than images. And normally text-based emails can go through without being stopped. But I'm not the expert here, Andrew is, so you check with him more.
Manfred
But
has
that's
spoken.
the purple T-shirt Manfred talking. Always
The wisdom, the
wisdom towards the
Hey, what
last
happened to
part
the
of the show.
white plot of hair? We can't see him anymore. You dye your hair.
He
already.
died He died black already. Cannot
Not
show
here
people
lah,
like
not
that
here. That one was the wisdom of the week, no, not website.
Oh,
wisdom.
oh,
of
wisdom
the
of the way, not
Okay, okay.
website.
Give you
week.
that.
Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom.
All right. Okay. That brings us to the end of the show. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll
Jeffrey,
see you
thank you
next
so
week.
much.
This is what we do every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. And thank you for watching the Tree Marketing Show. See you next week. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.